This is a Locker Room production.
Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac.
And this is your boy Bryce.
And we are brothers on tennis. And folks, we are in for some good times. I'm ready to just shout from the rooftops. Our boy Roger is back in the building.
Yay!
Yes. Man, come on. I am excited. How you doing, Bryce? How you feeling about Roger being back, man?
Man, well, you know, tennis just really hasn't been the same since he's been out.
Right?
I mean, you know, I watch it and everything, but you know.
Right? It's like my spirit ain't quite all the way there.
Right. It's just like on the women's side, if Venus or Serena's not in, or I guess now maybe even Osaka.
Right.
If one of the three of them ain't in the tournament, then I'm like,
It's like, yeah, you know,
okay.
it's all right. I'm gonna watch, but you know,
right.
That fire ain't gonna be there.
No, not at all. So I'm very excited that Roger's back, and I'm also excited that he said he hasn't had a setback in a couple of months.
Ooh,
now.
Nice.
So he said he's feeling really good. Of course we have to keep our expectations realistic. I mean,
absolutely.
It's one thing to play practice sets and to be playing against, the top junior in Rwanda. But hopefully, it'll all pan out well for him. Because I heard someone else mention today, they said, Roger Federer really isn't one of those kind of players that needs all these kind of reps to get into his game. He just kind of has that natural, like, hey, I kind of got this skill. I can do this. So let me step out there. Usually when we see an issue with Roger, it's usually related to some sort of physical thing, like, with the knee or the back or, whatever. But if he can move and he can get around, that serve is pretty much always there for him. We know he has the new backhand, so that's been an improvement. And,
yes.
As long as he's healthy to play that transition game, get to the net, knock off some easy points, he should do okay.
Yeah. I mean, I like what you said initially, though. Folks got to be, realistic. We can't, just be like, oh, Roger's about to win like the next 10 tournaments. No, we need to let old boy get back into the swing of things. See, test the knee out, make sure everything is good. So for me, it's like, as long as he, gets his game out there and plays this week and next week, I don't really have any major, expectations of him winning, just as long as he's out there trying to get himself right for Wimbledon. That to me is really what it's all about.
And apparently that's what it's all about to him too, because he came out and said any of the matches that he plays, coming up, they're all in preparation for Wimbledon.
For Wimbledon, yeah.
That's where his focus is. And so that, of course, makes me want to ask you the question, does he play any clay court matches?
We talked about this a little bit, and I still feel like he should play at least one, if not two events. And the fact that, we already jumping into it. So the fact that we already know that Medvedev is going to take the number 2 spot. So he is going to be number 2.
Yes.
And I kind of wish they had kind of shared that a little bit the week before, because, I feel like he did succumb to the pressure in this past tournament because of that whole number 2. Whereas they should just told him, boy, it don't really matter. Just you won't get it. You won't get it. So just relax. It's all good. But I think he kind of buckled a little bit. But regardless of that, if he is number 2 and Djokovic is number 1 and Nadal is number 3, and there is a chance that Nadal and Djokovic will be on the same side of the draw, Federer needs to have his ass a bit of French. Do not even trip. Do not even play with me, Roger Federer. You better get up there in that French Open.
Right.
Listen. Okay. So we can't mess with that, bro.
And guess what? If the draw don't work out right, then just withdraw.
Exactly. If they get on the other side of the draw, it ain't like anybody's gonna be mad because, like I said, he's Roger Federer. You've earned it at this point. So
Right.
if you pull out, that's all right. They shift around the draw and everybody's happy.
Right.
But no, you put your name up in there, and I still feel like even outside of the French, I feel like he should at least play one clay court tournament. And the reason I say that is because, again, the clay is really where you kind of have to, or you force yourself to have to build points. And I still feel like that does him such it's a good thing for him, because to me, it really allows him to really, I guess, think about points, and it better prepares him even for when he gets on the grass. Because again, Roger Federer points away from winning Wimbledon 2 years ago. And why? Because he played the clay court season. He made it to the semis of Roland Garros. He had an outstanding clay court season. So I feel like that confidence transitioned or translated itself into good results on grass. He needs to do the same thing.
Right. And Paul, made a really, really good point about he could play Madrid, where the clay is typically faster in the higher altitude. So
that's right.
And if he's thinking about not playing the French, I would definitely play, and I don't know if Madrid is one of the early ones, because usually I think Italy is typically the last one, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
I always get confused how they do those, but yeah.
Right. Hopefully it's one of the earlier ones, because if he doesn't want to play the French, he can get in, he can play that one in Madrid, get that through, and then really start focusing in on the grass.
Exactly.
So, well, look, we have gotten way ahead of ourselves in terms of how we typically do the show. So, welcome everyone. Glad to see a good number of people out there. Just want to remind everyone, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick look at the results from last week, take a quick peek at the tournaments that are going on this week, and then we're going to invite some of you guys up to come on up and share your thoughts on what's going on in this world of tennis. So
yes, and really quickly, let me make sure we give our shout out, because again, for the folks who are listening to this as a podcast, we are recording this on the Locker Room app. We got a ton of folks out there in the audience there waiting to get up here and chat it up with us. So folks, if you have not become aware, be aware of the Locker Room app. It's available in iTunes and the Apple Store. If you want to talk about sports, especially with us in tennis, you need to get that Locker Room app. Come join us. We're always here every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific to chat it up. So get the Locker Room app, and please come join us. All right.
Absolutely. Yeah. So last week we had 2 men's tournaments, and we had we had 3 men's tournaments.
Right.
And we had, was it 2
2
women's?
Women. Yep.
2 women's tournaments. Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing here is, let's go ahead and let's stick with the men, since we're already talking about the men right now. Cool. And we will go with the let's go with the men's tournament. So there was a tournament in Argentina, and there was a tournament in Rotterdam. Yes. And let's start with the tournament in Argentina. And this is the one where we had homeboy Diego Schwartzman, Argentine, as the top seed. And he actually met in the finals this young guy, this other Argentine, this Cerundolo. Yes. And his brother had just won, his younger brother had just won his first tournament last week. Very first time being in a main draw, going all the way through, winning the tournament. And now the older brother made it to the finals. Diego opened up the bakery on him with that breadstick and that hoe biscuit. But what's going on with that family? I mean, 2 finals in a row, some young guys. What did you think about those guys?
Yeah, man, that was some awesome results. The fact that, again, like you said, you got one brother that wins a tournament the previous week, the other brother makes it to the final. I mean, that's just a great story. You don't see that very often, as far as siblings being able to kind of get out there and and, have such good results so quickly. And it just kind of begins to motivate. And Cerundolo, I mean, for him, if that semifinal against Ramos Vignoles, for him to be able to pull that out and gave him a whole biscuit in the third, I mean, that to me, Bryce, was really exceptional play, because Ramos Vignoles is a clay courter. I mean, that's his deal. That's where he makes his bread. That's where he makes his coins. So for you to be able, as this just fresh faced person out of the box, to be able to get to the semis and to actually beat him to make it to the final, that speaks volumes, man. That speaks volumes.
Right.
So yeah, well, man, I was extremely impressed. Extremely impressed.
Now, looking at their games, did you get to feel like they're more clay quarters, though? I mean, like, we're not really expecting big things from them maybe on other surfaces?
Well, I mean, I would say initially that's kind of probably where they will have their best results starting out. But I think what we have seen throughout the years, though, is that folks are really beginning to commit, and they're building their games outside of clay. So I think that they'll probably start off really comfortable there, but they will build out their games more. So I think that they will go, further, if you will, or outside the bounds of clay. That's just my own kind of thought. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I just felt kind of looking at their games right now, it looked to me kind of obvious why they would perform well on clay.
On clay, yep.
There, like you said, there definitely probably needs to be some development in their games before they are effective on maybe some of the faster surfaces. But let's make sure we give the proper shine to the guy that actually won the tournament.
Yes, sir.
This was actually the very first tournament that Diego has won in his home country.
Yes. And we always know that's a big thing for folks to win a title in their actual country. So that was big for Diego. Huge.
Right. So congratulations to Diego. But probably the big men's tournament last week was the one in Rotterdam.
Yes.
And the one in Argentina was 250 level. Rotterdam was 500 level. And the whole talk going into this tournament was that if Medvedev made it to the finals, he would become this week the number 2 player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And Medvedev, someone who's on my varsity squad,
yep,
lost to one of my JV players.
Right? I was going to call you and ask you if he was going to keep his spot on the JV squad, because, it was in question.
Well, it's still in question because he took that L to Chorich in the very next round.
That he did, yeah.
But Lajovic did get up on Medvedev, and like you're saying, Isaac, we're not sure, but maybe the pressure got up on Medvedev a little bit in terms of reaching that number 2 ranking. But also, I'm going to call out something else. They continue to talk about how slow a surface that was. Right. Although it was a hard court, it was very, very slow. And that, I could definitely see how that would favor a Lajovic over a Medvedev.
Right.
And so, but anyway, he didn't get it done, but as we know.
You know who did.
Right. His countryman, Mr. Andrei Rublev, if Khachanov ain't around and if Medvedev ain't around,
telling you,
he is going to clown. And he had a huge win in the semifinals over Tsitsipas and met Fucsovics in the finals.
That's right. And Bryce, like I said, when we were talking about it a long time ago, because remember, Medvedev had that summer and he was clowning and he was like, I am Mr. Russia. And I'm trying to tell you, Andrei Rublev, who was hurt at the time, was like, you know what? You taking my shine, son. Right. I was out there before you because I don't know, like I said, I don't know if y'all know this, but Andrei Rublev was actually out there stronger than Medvedev initially. And he really started rising up the ranks in a pretty aggressive manner. And then he got hurt. So he then, dealt with his injury. And as he's dealing with his injury, that's when Medvedev just showed out. and just really jumped on the scene and was like, yo, I'm the one to contend with. And all the while, Rublev is like, wait a minute now. I started this. Don't forget about me. And to me, that has given him this fire to just, I mean, he is doing it, y'all. Outside of Medvedev,
Right.
Rublev is not scared of nobody. He is getting it done, people. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, and that was a great performance. And and of course he gets a shine because he actually won the tournament. Right. But I want to call out a couple of other guys that I'm telling you better keep your eye out on these guys. And number one will be the return of Kei Nishikori. And although FAA may have been a little injured, that was still a good win for Kei. Yes. It was a great win in the next round for him to get up on Demon Yara.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And actually, he lost in 2 tiebreakers to Chorich. So he is obviously slowly getting back, into his top player status.
Exactly, bro. Couldn't have said it any better. I have always thought that Kei is just an incredible ball striker. And again, if he's got all of those elements, i.e. his movement and everything's, under him, he's going to get good results. I feel like he's going to scratch his way back into at least the top 20, maybe even the top 15. It'll be tight on that top 10 just because we've got so many guys out there that are just getting it done right now. But Nishikori is definitely not where he needs to be because to me, he is a top 20 player and he's phenomenal talent. So yeah, I'm looking forward to him continuing to improve and get back to where he belongs.
Well, I'll tell you who ain't a top 20 player, but is trying to act like one is Jeremy Chardee. And if you haven't been paying attention to him recently, his results have been really, really good. And to be honest, he came very close to beating Rublev this week.
Yeah, he did. He really did. The fact that he came back and kind of stole that second set tiebreak from him, and Rublev was not happy about that either. He was like, no, I did not let this fool take me into a third set. What? And he started out hot, and then here comes Jeremy Chardee coming back. And I don't know if you saw that first round match against his countryman, Ugo Humbert, because Humbert is another one. Keep your eye out for him. Keep your good eye out for him because he's another one. But Chardee was like, he was down like, what was it, like 5-3 or something like that? And he was like, no, son, no, we're not done. We're not done. And man, I was impressed with Jeremy Chardee. He, like you said, he's doing some things, y'all. Y'all don't sleep on him.
Yeah, and he had a great second round win over Goffin.
That's right. And Goffin has been hot of late. So, I mean, wow, man, it's just everybody's popping off in these different time frames. It makes for some great tennis.
Right. Well, let's talk about a couple of people who ain't playing good tennis. And we'll start off with Sasha Vera, who lost in the first round to Bublik.
Yeah. I mean, Sasha always good for an upset. I mean, everybody be getting their turn with him. So it's like, if you want a top 10 scalp, go after Sasha because he's the one that'll, I feel like he's just very erratic as it relates to, how he shows up week to week. But yeah, Bublik was like, hey, I feel in my game right now. So if you don't want this, I'll take it.
Right. and I watched the Andy Murray matches this week. And as you know, I think we're both Andy Murray fans.
Oh, yeah.
But I felt like when I was watching him this week, it kind of felt like, you know what? Andy, you're out there, you're playing pretty good, but he's starting to look old to me now. He's starting to look like, he's starting to look like I don't believe he can return to the top 10. Can he be maybe a very effective top 40 player for the rest of his career? Probably, and that would be amazing, coming off the hip surgeries and all that. But like you said earlier, we have some people playing out there right now, and that top 10 is real crowded. And I was really trying to see it in him, and I just was like, I just can't see him competing day in and day out at that level right now. Not in terms of what I'm seeing him do on the court.
Right, right. And I don't disagree at all, bro. I feel like Andy, if he wants to get back to where he was, he's going to actually have to transform his game. You know, Andy's always sort of been that defensive guy, you know, relying on his wills in order to get around the court to, you know, kind of, you know, that's his thing. That's what he always kind of falls back on. With them hips, he can't do that.
No.
So I feel like he needs to just literally study up, go find all of Federer's film, and just start being super aggressive. I mean, he needs to be on the offense, because if people are putting him on the defense, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to hang with the fellas who are fighting to get into the top 10, like your Rublevs and your Medvedevs and your Tsitsipas's. He's not going to be able to be defensive against them. He's going to have to develop an offensive game in order to contend. And it's just not necessarily in his nature, but we've seen him do it. He's done it in his career, in the past. So It's in him. It's just a matter of him being able to do that and do it consistently, in my opinion. And I just feel like it's a mindset thing. And I don't know if he'll adopt that or not, but if he wants to get back in the top 10, I feel like that's the way that he's going to do it, because he won't do it playing his old school or the old style of tennis that he used to play, because he just simply doesn't have the wheels to do it.
Right. I agree. So that was a really, really good week for the men last week, especially to have a tournament that didn't have any of the big three.
Right.
And it was actually pretty entertaining. So let's talk about the two women's tournaments from last week.
Yeah.
And in the 250 level tournament in Lyon, France, we had a new winner.
Mm-hmm.
We had this Dane, Miss Towson.
Towson.
And so isn't this like the first promising Dane we've had since Wozniacki?
Yep, exactly. And I think they were kind of throwing a lot of that out there as far as, you know, hey, someone's finally going to take the mantle behind Wozniacki. So, I mean, we'll see what she can do. But I tell you what, for her to have gotten into her first tournament, or at least I'm not sure if it's her first tournament, but her first final. And she was giving folks the business, Bryce. I mean, she was like, I'm going to take you to the bakery. I'm going to take you to the bakery.
Right.
And I'm going to take you to the bakery up in this final because you look hungry and you need some bread.
Right.
I mean, for real, bro. I mean, that's crazy. That's impressive. That's what it is.
Right.
And yeah, go ahead, bro.
And she took out the number one seed in the first round. I mean, first of all, she had to qualify.
Right.
So let's not forget that. Yep. Then she takes out Alexandrova in the first round in straight sets. And then, like you said, she fed somebody every round after winning the tournament. And I think she's like 17?
Yeah, exactly.
Years old. And so this was her first title. And they're really talking about her like she might be one of the big players in the future.
Oh, I tell you what, if you can get it, like I said, if you can throw it down like that and get to your first final, and just like I said, if you feeding somebody in your first final, I'm sorry, you doing some things. You know what I'm saying? You doing some things. So, you know, I can't be mad at nobody that feeds somebody in their first final.
Right. Well, while they were doing that in France, we kind of had the bigger names in Doha. And like we were saying, the one kind of thing we knew wasn't going to happen was that Svitolina wasn't going to win this tournament, but she was the top seed, and
that she was.
And Azarenka sent her on. Okay, so Azarenka hurts her back, right?
Yeah.
Her back is hurting. She's seeing the trainer like in the second game, and she pulls her best Novak Djokovic and says, "You know what? I don't need a back to beat you. You Svitolina.
You Svitolina.
Right? Come on and get this." And she gave her a whole biscuit in the first set and gave her 6-4 in the second set and sent her on her way.
Right?
So, yeah.
Yeah, but she knew she couldn't do that against Mugu, though. So that's why she was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just bow out and let you go to the final, because I don't need you beating up on me like that. But yeah, that was pretty impressive for Azarenka to get through that match with the back issues, because you could see it. I mean, just how she was walking, I was like, ooh, Baby, I can definitely relate to that feeling. The back issues are not fun, and especially if you're trying to play tennis. Good Lord. That ain't cool.
Right. And I just, as we continue to shout out people that are playing well, Jessica Pegula.
Man.
Maybe David Witt picked up a few things when he was with Venus Williams, and Jessica is benefiting from that.
Mm-hmm.
But just great wins she had. I mean, beating Wang Chung in the first round and getting up on Ostapenko, and then beating Carolina Pliskova.
You always call it the good Pliskova. I'm getting confused on which one's the good one. I'm just going to put that out there real quick.
Well, she's a slightly better one at this moment. And but that was interesting because that was David Witt going up against Sasha.
That's right. And gave her bread, Bryce.
3-1.
Breadsticks all day long.
But and she played a very respectable match in the semis against Kvitova, but Kvitova was too strong, 4-4.
Yeah.
Came through that. And talking about too strong, when she was on her way to the finals, there must have been about 6 bakeries on her way to the tournament.
And she stopped at every single one, Bryce.
She did, because I couldn't believe she gave Muguruza a whole biscuit and a breadstick in the finals.
Bryce, I was sitting there like, dang, Petra, you putting it on her like that? And she had a walkover in the semis. I mean, dang. Yeah, Petra was not to be denied. She was like, listen, I got a good head-to-head record against you, and guess what? That ain't going to change today. I'm about to put it down. Oh, it was great. And I'm a huge Petra fan, love her story. She just seems like she's a great, great young lady. And yeah, I was very happy to see her get that title. That was excellent.
That was great. So congratulations to you, Kvitova. And we don't typically cover doubles,
no.
but we got Olympic watch going on right now, and it's focused in on the doubles side. And so our friend of the show, Nicole Mellicar, and her partner Demi Shores, they took the title in doubles. And so going into this week, Mellicar is now 75 points behind Dabrowski from Canada for the 10th spot in the top 10. And as a reminder, if you're in the top 10, for doubles, you automatically make the Olympic squad for your country. Right. So that was a huge win. And so she made up some good ground on her this week.
Yes, sir. Like, I honestly feel like Nicole is listening to the show. She know what we done said, because what we said is fact.
Right.
If you want to control your own destiny, get yourself into the top 10. Because if you don't, there is a very, very real chance that you will not be on that Olympic squad.
Right.
So Nicole know what's up, and she like, listen, I'm about to get it done. And that is what she is doing. She is getting it done. She's getting them victories. And I honestly believe she is going to definitely overtake Dabrowski, and she will be in the top 10, which is going to make it really interesting on the Olympic selections.
Absolutely. And so let's move that into the tournaments this week, because let's start with the women, because I want to talk about the women are in Dubai and in Mexico this week. And we're going to start with Dubai because I want to talk about the doubles draw. So Dabrowski, and I know I'm wrong for thinking this, but I looked at the draw and I saw that she was playing this week with Coco Gauff. And I was like, Coco, we need you to take one for the team this week. And she must have felt that in my spirit. Because they lost today and the first round. So Dabrowski will not be picking up any more points. And Mellicar and Demi Shores are the number 3 seeds. So if they can have another strong performance this week, heaven forbid, go ahead and actually win the title.
Right.
she may pop into the top 10 much sooner than we think. And we know that she has until the end of the French Open.
Right. Exactly. And yeah. And, you know, not to say that Coco did anything, but I mean, they were playing Sigmund and Zvonareva. That is a tough double squad.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, Nicole knows what needs to be done, and she is getting it done. And I like I said, I'm going to definitely be on watch. But I really believe she is taking it into her own hands, and she is like, I am not leaving this to fate. I'm not leaving it to nobody else's decision. I'm gonna get it done. And kudos to her.
Right.
That's right.
So on to the singles side of the tournament. I mean, it's another. Now, here's the funny thing. Mm-hmm. So now that the women's tour and the men's tour are both using the same levels, right? 250, 500, thousands. I was surprised to see that Dubai for the women is 1,000 level tournament. Yeah. Because typically the 1,000 level tournaments, I mean, that are both men and women, you know, they're, you know, Cincinnati, Canada, Indian Wells, Miami. Right. They're both 1,000 for the men and for the women. But Dubai is not a Masters series for the men.
Right. But,
so it kind of surprised me, but I guess they had to pick 9 tournaments that they felt on their side were the 9 biggest, and Dubai was one of them. So we have a very strong draw with Svitolina, Pliskova, Sabalenka, Kvitova, Burtons. Now, Azarenka did pull out. Swiatek, Muguruza, Coco Gauff. I mean, Madison Keys. It's Belinda Bencic. It's a strong field.
Yes.
Even though, you know, we don't have any of the queens in there. So, what are you thinking about this draw? I was surprised to see the Madison Keys got out of the first round this week. And
what I was surprised at was Sakari.
Do you know what? I think she's slumping a little bit.
I don't disagree. Yeah, because that was shocking to me that she took the L in the first round. I was like, what? What is that about?
Right.
But anyway, sorry.
No, it's a real thing. You know, when you're always kind of the underranked or the lower ranked player and you're not expected to win and you're pulling off these really good victories. Mm-hmm. And then the tables turn, and now you're kind of expected to win the majority of your matches. You know, it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, it sometimes people have a hard time adjusting to the pressure.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I don't know, you know, if that's the case or not, but you know.
Yeah,
I hate to see it. Still a fan.
I mean, like I said, everybody kind of goes through their you know, their ups and downs, and she probably just having a little bit of a dip. But I don't expect her to stay there that long. I really see her as being someone that's going to, you know, get herself back on track, and she will be, you know, fighting with the other elite ladies out there on the tour. So this one was a hiccup. This one was, and mind you, Krejcikova is no, you know, that's you know, she's solid. So that's right. Not just a gimme match there. So but yeah, I'm like you. I'm noticing just a little bit of a dip right now. And so we'll see how she performs over the next couple weeks to months here, and hopefully she's, you know, will be in Miami, and we'll really be able to see what she can do.
Right. So who are you seeing getting to the end of this tournament?
Man, you know, it's kind of hard to say. I think who I want to get through in truth is Sabalenka. I'm impressed with the run that she's been on, and like I said, she took an L to Muguruza, but y'all, I don't know who watched that match. That was a good match. That was a really, really good match. And like I said, Muguruza did her thing. They possibly can meet up in the quarters again. I'm hoping that we get to see it again. But I guess, I don't know. I just have a soft spot for Sabalenka. So I would like for her to get through and take the tournament. How about you? Who you looking at?
It's interesting because I think there are two strong quarters and I think there are two sorry quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And then, one of the strong quarters is the one you're talking about because you have Sabalenka, Kontaveit, Muguruza, and Swiatek all in that quarter.
Right. Ooh, that's right. Mugu would have to play Swiatek. I forgot about that.
So only one of those can come out of that quarter.
Right.
Also in the top half, you have a quarter with Kvitova and Teichmann and Rybakina and Coco Gauff. Only one can come through there. But then there are two sorry quarters because the quarter that, Svitolina's in, well, she's sorry. And then, you got Madison Keys who's sorry. And then you got Belinda Bencic who knows how to be sorry. So, I mean, you don't know who's coming through there. And then on the bottom half, you have, Pliskova, who's been sorry.
Yeah. And according to Paul, has already lost.
Did she? I didn't think did they play that match already today?
That's what Paul said in the comment here. Pliskova already lost.
Well, she did. Bye. Right.
Bye, Felicia.
Right. So it's interesting. So I think I think it's going to probably be in the finals, Kvitova again against either one of three people, and it's whoever comes out of that quarter. It either be Swiatek, Muguruza or Sabalenka.
I don't disagree with that, bro. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, they're saying the real sorry one lost.
Oh, the lefty Pliskova lost. Oh, okay, Paul. Yeah. Thank you for that clarification. There you go. Okay.
Well, we knew that.
Said the real sorry one.
I mean, we knew that.
Yes, thanks,
that
Tony.
Question. So I'm about to say, I swore Pliskova had a bye in the first round, but if anybody can lose to a bye, it might be her.
Oh, that is my bad. Yeah, I should have asked which Pliskova. That's right.
Right. We only talk about one on this show.
That's true.
Now, the other tournament, now you're talking about sorry. This was basically the people that couldn't qualify for the one in Dubai.
Yeah.
The top seed is the Ponderosa lady.
Oh, and, this is Abierto, right?
Yeah.
Ponderosa.
Yeah, and Buzkova is the second seed. So, we wish everybody well over there.
Yeah. Who basically the only thing I shouldn't be so mean, but Katie McNally's in the draw. So hopefully she'll be able to find her footing and get some good results.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good luck to you, Katie. She had to kind of branch out from Coco. Well, maybe she couldn't get into the tournament that Coco was in anymore. So she's going to have to step her game up so she can play doubles with Coco again. We gotta get that right.
That's right.
Before we jump to the tournaments for this week, I quickly want to mention, a couple of notes that people may be interested in. Number one, Djokovic set history this week. 311 weeks at number one. That's history making. That's excellence, and consistency together.
That's right.
And like I was telling somebody earlier today, I mean, the guy definitely will make some bonehead moves off court. Yep. But as a player, you got to give it to him. I mean, he's truly one of the greatest players in the history of the game. I can't give him GOAT status right now, but I definitely would give him the award for player of the last decade.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the numbers are there. What he's done has been incredible. So you got to give Djokovic all of his props because he is getting it done. He's doing it.
Right.
So yeah, kudos to him.
Yeah, congratulations. The other thing that I want to mention is somebody had interest in knowing that Coco Vandeweghe was back this week. Don't go looking for it because she already lost. Took a whole biscuit in the third set to Bruthas. It was funny because when they mentioned Coco to me, it was so funny because it took me a while to even think about her because at first when somebody said Coco, I'm thinking, Coco, Taj, and Lily from SWV. That's the first Coco I always think about. So I was like, SWV got a new CD coming out. And then they were like, tennis. And I was like, oh, Coco Golf. And it was like, no, not Coco Golf. And then I'm thinking, a cup of hot chocolate?
Cocoa is it, right?
I don't even think Coco Vanderway. Like Paul said, I thought she had retired.
Right.
So anyway, she came back. She's not even my favorite Vanderway. Shout out to Kiki Vanderway. But apparently she's back. So for all of those that are looking for the next great American hope through her, she's back.
I ain't gonna say a word.
So anyway, let's go ahead and continue talking about the men's tournaments that are going on for this week. And we actually have 3 tournaments. We'll start with it's funny, they're all 250s, but they have different levels of quality. So
this is true.
We'll go with the Buster one, which the top seed is Garin.
Yeah.
Second seed is Benoit Paire.
Benoit Paire, yeah.
And then we have Underhar and Desire. So
Big Foe in there.
Oh yeah, Big Foe, and he just won in the third set tiebreaker against Nicholas Jarry.
Yep. So,
good luck to everybody in this tournament. I mean, I don't know who's, not sticking my neck out for none of them.
Yeah, this is definitely the Buster tournament. But I mean, hey, I think that you'll see probably a lot of clay quarters in there. Cerundolo is one. Manuel is back up in the house, so he's excited. Francisco is back in there too. So who knows? They might meet up in the final. They might be like, we're gonna make the all brothers final.
Now I would be excited for that.
Yeah,
I would be excited to see that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
that would be.
No money on that though.
No.
So let's go to. Gosh, I know which one I'm going to next. We're going to go to the one in Marseille.
I was about to say, we know which one's last.
Right.
Come on now.
Now, this is a much stronger tournament. We have as the top seeds, the top 8 are Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Khachanov, Humbert, Sinner, Nishikori, Davidovich, Fokina, who I like, by the way, and Nishioka, who the commentator today kept calling Nishikori, but
Lord Jesus,
we're gonna leave that racism alone. So the interesting thing here in this tournament, though, is that you could really have some really quality semifinals here. I mean, we could have a Medvedev actually center quarter, and the winner of that meeting. Khachanov probably in the semis, and then in the bottom half you have Humbert, who may meet Tsitsipas in the semis, and then we have my boy Joe Willie Tsonga.
Joe Willie, that's right.
He's playing Feliciano Lopez, so at least he's playing somebody else old. So maybe
exactly, he might be able to slide through that.
Yeah, he might get a shot there. You have any predictions for what you think may happen? Who may actually lift this title?
It's hard for me to vote against Med simply because now that whole number 2 thing is by the wayside, and he doesn't have to think about that. I feel like he'll play Medvedev tennis, and I just don't know that I see anyone outside of Tsitsipas being able to do anything with that. I'm actually hoping, though, in truth, that I kind of want to see Medvedev Khachanov. Well, not kind of, I really do. But I tell you what, you better watch out for that Medvedev center match, because if center is playing center ball, that honestly could tell a lot of stories going forward. Because if Sinner is able to, in my opinion, pull an upset in that match, I might have to give him the nod to snatch this title, to be very honest with you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, he's gonna have to play better than he did today. He barely got out of that match today, and to me made quite a few unforced errors, which I'm not used to seeing from him as much.
Right.
So Yeah, if he's going to do that, he's going to definitely have to play better than he did today. So maybe today will be a wake up call for him.
Well, he's been down.
Up.
He's been out for a minute though, so he hasn't played actually since. When is the last time he played? It's been a few weeks.
I thought he played last week. Didn't he play last week and lose in the first round?
Did he? Yeah, see if he did. I missed that. My bad.
Well, because it was his first round.
There you go. Yeah, I wasn't that intent in those draws. So okay. Well, yeah. Let's hope that he has a better showing then, because I really do think that he has the type of game that not only can get him into that upper echelon, but it's going to definitely worry a lot of those who are already there. And I consider Medvedev to be one of those people.
Right. Yeah. No. I totally agree. I'm looking here. I was trying to look in the previous draws to see
if you saw him.
Because I thought
he should have had a seed. I mean, if he was playing the Buster tournament. Well, no, he wouldn't have been on clay.
No, he should have been in Rotterdam, but maybe anyway, it must have been another week then.
Excuse me.
So let's get to the real tournament this week. And that tournament is the one that is in Doha, the one where Dominique Thiem is the top seed, but who cares because Roger Federer
that's right.
is back in the house, and he is the number 2 seed, followed by Rublev, Shapovalov, RBA, Goffin, Stan Wawrinka. George pulled out because that was too hot. It was getting too hot for him in there. So here's my big question. So now that you see the draw,
yes,
and we haven't seen Roger yet, so I'm not trying to get overly hyped or anything,
right?
But he actually has a pretty decent draw if he wants to do a little something.
Yeah, but who I am really, really concerned about for him, and that would be the third round matchup if he were to have to pay Millman.
Millman lost today, so next.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't see the results. So, okay, Millman. Okay, so if Millman lost, then yes, I see. Because who won between Chardee and Evans?
They play tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Because even with the two of them, and mind you, it's very different styles. Because you got Dan Evans that's more of attacking. To me, he plays more like Federer. He's just like Federer Jr.
Yeah.
That's exactly. So in that sense, he would get stolen. And Jeremy Chardee, even though he is really doing well right now, I just don't know that he would fare well against the variety that Fed is going to be able to bring onto the court. So,
and let me be real clear: Roger Federer did not have 2 knee surgeries to come back and lose to Jeremy Chardee. I'm just saying,
right?
He could have done that on the bad knee, So I'm not worried about Jeremy Chardee. I like Jeremy Chardee.
Yeah, I like Jeremy, but I agree with you. I don't think Fed is going. If Fed's going to lose to anybody, I feel like it might be a Shapovalov who can bring a lot of power if they meet up in the semis. Right. I don't know that I see anybody else like Goffin or anyone like that can really worry him. And then again, if he makes it to the final, he'll either play Thiem or Rublev because I tell you what, Aslan Karatsev.
I was about to say our boy is in there.
Our boy is in here, and he might climb above Dominic Thiem and be like, "Son, you're not ready for this."
Look, he treated a brother bad today with that 6-4-6 love. I was like, "Come on, you didn't have to feed the brother, man. He's in his home country, man."
Right? He was like, "Listen, I got plans, bro. You got to get out the way."
I got me a sponsorship from Head Now. Y'all can't tell me nothing.
Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Come on now. Come on. Yes. So I tell you what, it will be one of those 3. I don't really give anybody else a chance. It will be Rublev, Thiem, or Karatsev that will make it into that final. And, honestly, if Fed gets to the final, he better win it because let's don't play. If you go lose, then I would rather he just lose in the second round or the third round, get you a couple matches, and then you lose. But don't be making it to the final and then lose because again, we're going after Jimmy Connors. We're going after Connors. Exactly. Right. Don't think that's been forgotten.
No, we need to make him. We need to make him snag a tooth with any kind of historical, accomplishments, and that would be a nice one to take from him.
So simply put, yeah, if Fed gonna do it, he needs to go on ahead and win. Otherwise, I want him to lose in the third round, which would be totally fine.
Right.
Go on ahead, get you some matches in, test the knee, make sure everything cool. Again, building it up for Wimbledon. But again, do not get to a final and lose. That
Right.
no.
Right. So let's do this, Isaac. Let's since we're let's bring up some people.
Dang,
And
we talked a long time. Let's get some folk up.
We got our gab on today. So
sorry, y'all.
Anyone out there in the audience wants to come up and talk about anything we've talked about, either the tournaments last week or the tournaments that are going on this week? Are you excited that Coco Vandeweghe is back? Or hey, Paul.
Coco Vandeweghe.
Oh,
Did
Lord.
you see them periwinkle curtains she was wearing?
Yeah, I did.
Listen, Taylor Townsend called. She said she want her outfit back.
And wait a minute, have you seen pictures of Taylor Townsend? She looked like she should be delivering that baby like last week.
Oh, I thought Coco was carrying the baby for her as a surrogate. Let me stop. I want to say one thing. There's a lot of things I want to say, but I noticed something in the Marseille tournament. I know it's the B tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
This week. But did you all see who had a wild card in that tournament?
And Marseille?
Marseille?
Yeah.
Let me check that.
Did you see that Petro Tsitsipas has a wild card?
Yeah.
Now, I was feeling some type of way because I looked at qualies and then I looked at people who didn't even get in qualies. And it was people like, the Ernest Gulbis types who are ranked around 120, 140 now. They've slipped a little bit. And, but Petro Tsitsipas is ranked like 869.
Right.
And if you're a Cerundolo brother who just won a tournament and your other brother made the final, that's one thing. You've worked your way. You played through. Now, what has he done? Why is Petros and what type of feeling does that give the other players? I'm curious if anybody knows the ins and outs of that type of thing. And why would Petro Tsitsipas get a wild card into the main draw of a 250 as they're leading up to Miami? And there are people. I'm just curious. Does anybody know how that works?
We absolutely know
I can weigh in. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Isaac. You can take it.
Well, the first thing is just money. I mean, the name he has built now. Stefanos has built a brand around the Tsitsipas name. Right. So the fact that you put someone like a Petros in the draw, everybody's curious. What's his younger brother like? How he play? Ooh, I need to see this.
Yeah, so I'd say put him in qualies and see how he is.
No. You got to put him in the main draw because that's where you're going to get your money. You ain't get no money from qualies. Qualies is free.
Okay. But do you think other players feel some type of way about stuff like that?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. They probably pissed off. Absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead, Bryce.
And I'll give another perspective. I think it's probably even different than that. I think all of these top players have, okay, Paul, you're in the entertainment industry, so you understand the equivalent of a writer contract, right? They have the equivalent of writers, right? Where they either get like appearance fees or they get certain concessions for them to come play the tournament. Right. From what I understand, whether the father did it or Stefanos has done it, in some of these tournaments to get Stefanos to come play, tag-along brother has to get in the tournament as well. And Stefanos has already come out and said he wants to play a lot of doubles with his brother this year. And everybody's doing it, right? They're playing with their country.
Right, for the Olympics.
For the Olympics, right? But the reason I think he's getting in is he's part of that guarantee package for Stefanos.
Well, all right. I mean, I won't belabor this because there's more interesting things to talk about. But just from my perspective, I feel like I pity the fool, like Mr. T would say, because you put pressure on Petros. The other players are going to get in that booty so hard because they're really going to want to smack him down,
right?
And you don't do anything but just hurt Petros and his, he's not working his way up the way them Cerundolo brothers, who I think are part African, by the way. You know, do you see them features on them, Isaac? Them Cerundolo brothers was black.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just saying it
don't trip. Come
now.
on, Paul.
And
But you know
that
what?
dude had the kind of Tiafo forehand, but with more control. He's got a nice take back and he whips it and covers it. And that backhand had a nice, efficient, quick take back and a pop on it. I think, like you said, Isaac, they're going to become all surface players. That guy was looking to come forward, even on clay.
Yep.
He was looking to move forward. So I liked what I saw.
And I just wanted to add that, you know, we're getting some amens in the chat room because, you know, this whole big brother or big sister thing is a common thing that they do. You know, Naomi has done it, you know, with her sister. Djokovic has done it with his brother. So
Right.
it's pretty common that they do this. And you know, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, I just had not noticed it before. Maybe that flag sticks out to me. I just didn't notice it, and I didn't know Naomi had done it too. I knew Nole had the brother, and I thought I haven't seen him much, and I thought, well, I guess he's old enough to realize he can't play or something.
No, you called it. I think he came to the realization that I am not as good, so I'm going to be up in the box and I'll manage some things for you. Yeah.
But on some of the more stuff we need to be talking about, I think Tiafoe shouldn't have had as much trouble with Yari, who's on the comeback trail. Yari had potential, and so Yari ain't no scrub. But I think Tony was saying that in the chat that Tiafoe had to work a little harder for the way he's been playing. So maybe Yari surprised him because Yari's maybe been out with an injury or something, and he came back tough. It's his home country, and you know.
Well, the fact that Tiafoe had what was like, didn't it take him like 5 match points?
Yeah, 7, 5 or 7,
something like that. Yeah, so yeah, he's got to close those out on.
Got to close those out, man.
Yeah,
and you know, and you look at these people like the Towson chick, the Dane, who I think has got a lot of upside.
Oh yeah,
you all were talking about how she was feeding. What was telling was that she was feeding in the second set. You know, she wasn't like coming out hot and then having to just, you know, nerve it out in the second set. She was feeding sometimes in the first set, but she was really feeding in the second set.
Right.
She was like, I figured you out. I see what you're doing. Goodbye. Here's an apple Danish for you, a cheese Danish for you. Here's a cherry Danish for you.
Right.
She was handing out them Danishes. Okay. She was handing them out with no emotion, and I really like what I saw. I agree with you, Isaac, that Sinner shouldn't have struggled like that against that dude today. But we'll see if it's a wake-up call. That often happens.
There you go.
You know, maybe it's a wake-up call. Yeah, I'm looking at this Federer stuff. He should come all the way to the final.
I know. I mean, it's a good draw.
If he's feeling good, he should. And like I said, don't get up in there and lose. That's all I'm saying. It's just don't do that to me.
I mean, and you know, and don't sleep on Karatsev because he's handing out some Russian bagels.
Like I told you, he got him a head sponsorship now.
Yeah. Right. He tell him nothing.
He can start breaking rackets now.
And I think he took the last week off. He didn't play the Rotterdam swing. So I think he smartly went back into the gym and said, hey, I had a great tournament. Let me go have some vodka and let me just, you know, have a few days to let that. He didn't try to just jump right back in like a lot of these people do. And he said, let me get my head back on straight. And he looks deadly.
Yeah. I'm excited for him. I really think he is going. I think he's substance. I think he is a quality player if you look at his game, he doesn't have a lot of funky stuff in his game. There's not a lot to go wrong. You know, I think he is going to be a problem for some people.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Agree.
I agree with you about Rotterdam. What a surprise that tournament was so good when there were so many pullouts. Raonic and Berrettini. A lot of people pulled out, and I almost turned the channel off. And then I was like, wait a minute, there's some good tennis, happening here. It was great. That tournament was great. And Rublev, who was saying he actually came out first.
Yeah,
that was the way people think. You know, the way people don't know that Michelle Obama actually was the lawyer who trained Barack Obama at the law firm.
Exactly.
You know, Rublev was first, But that injury, Isaac, was serious because it was his
Yep.
back and spine.
Mhm.
It wasn't it something like very serious for a young player?
Yeah, it was. It was very. I didn't get all of the details, but like I said, when he jumped on the scene, I was like, okay, because I always watched the little Next Gen. I was like, this Rublev kid, watch out for him. He's doing it. And like I said, then he got the injury, and it's
he was
like,
gone.
oh snap, he was gone.
He was gone. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
yeah,
I don't know, y'all. I think he might actually be the one that pushes through and has the more sustained long-term career, because Medvedev is kind of, I love Medvedev, but he's feisty, and who knows what could happen with him.
Right.
I think Rublev is solid. He comports himself. He's professional. He wants it.
It's kind of like we said, even with Andy Murray. I feel like with Medvedev, he's more happy playing defense and playing 6 feet behind the baseline, whereas Rublev is more aggressive. And he's like, I'm bringing my game to you. You're not going to dictate. And I think that's where you're going to see a slight difference as they both grow in their careers, is that I think Rublev will benefit from the fact that he has a more aggressive mindset.
Yeah. No, agreed. I really
like
loved,
Tony said, Team Rublev. I like that. Sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
No, I loved that Rotterdam tournament. I think Fukovic ain't got no fooks to give. And, he plays to his abilities. I always respect that. He plays to his abilities. He comports himself with professionalism. Good tournament for Tommy Paul. He had a good win up in there, right?
He did.
Absolutely.
He had a good win in there.
Opelka keeps losing.
Who does? God dang it.
Isaac, you need to give that up. Him and Rybakina need to play mixed doubles and try something else. But listen, here's the thing about Zverev losing to Bublik.
Yeah.
Bublik is like Harlem Globetrotter, right?
Yes.
Right. Yep. And who breadsticked him the next round? Who took him out?
Who ended up taking Bublik out? I forget.
Tommy Paul.
With Tommy Paul. That's
and
right.
with a breadstick in the third set.
Yes.
So you can't tell me, oh, Bublik just came up on Zverev. Something's up. Zverev, Bryce and I were talking about this. These kids coming up, the Tsitsipas's and Medvedevs, and we like them. Mm-hmm. But if you don't take the crown, like Courtney was saying at the Australian Open, I'll give it to Courtney every time we go back and talk about it. She said, why are we even saying Medvedev has a chance? What has he shown? What have they shown that they're ready to take it?
Right.
And you know why? Because Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, no matter what tournament they play, it can be a 500, a 250, it can be a 37. They play a tournament to win the tournament. And I feel like Zverev shows up some of these tournaments. He didn't win Australia. He's still mad about it. And he doesn't like show up like a professional and come in and just win these matches. And you're seeded third, second, get to the final. You don't, but you never see that out of Nadal.
No. And in my defense, part of me thinking Medvedev was going to win is because I thought Djokovic had a torn ab muscle, but clearly he did not.
that was the round of 16. What you talking about?
And I'm up here blaming the opponents like Fritz and Rihanna. It's like, y'all can't take advantage of that. Medvedev's going to take advantage of that, but there was nothing to take advantage of. So
exactly.
But Medvedev admires Djokovic.
We talked about this. I didn't know that.
These dudes don't have the killer instinct. Federer can be best friends, or Djokovic can say, "Yeah, I respect them, but I'm gonna mow them down."
Right.
Nadal can say, "Federer is the best in the world. I don't even like to talk about. I might be the best," and Nadal will take him down.
Here's what I will say to this, because I don't disagree, but I also feel like Medvedev has shown that he's wanting to take it. Because again, if you remember that run that he did in the summer, he did take it. But the difference is he hasn't done that, and Bryce and I were talking about this. it's different when you're talking about a Grand Slam. It's different from three to 5 sets versus 2 out of 3.
Huge
That
difference.
is a huge difference that they now have to figure out. How do we now get over this hurdle? Because to me, I don't think they skirted them in the best 2 out of 3. I really believe that they like, no, we ain't scared of you. We can get up on you.
Well, you know, and that's
3 out of 5,
right?
Big
And that's the next tier of the people like, you know, Jean-Leonard Struff and Khachanov, who can't even do 1 out of 2. You know, they're like, that's why Khachanov is getting passed by, because come on, man, you got to beat Tsitsipas if you want it. You got to show you want it.
That's right.
And if it goes to a third set, you got to show you. So that's so I hear what you're saying. That's that next tier of they know that it's going to take the mountain to climb, and they don't think they can do it.
Right. Well, with Khachanov, I think he has to just realize that everybody can be in the top 10. Somebody got to be 11. Somebody got to be 11 through 20, right? Somebody got to be 11 through 20. So
So there you go. Might have to just be you.
He said somebody got to be Miloslav Mateer 2.0.
So he learning that lesson. It's coming around.
Yeah. But what a surprisingly great week, though. For the women too. Listen, Kvitova,
yes, sir.
With no coach, no staff.
That's right.
She gave her team the week off and let her best friend come hang with her.
And that is not a good feeling if you the coach.
Okay.
Be like, she getting it done without me. No.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
And I think David Witt is feeling really good about himself.
And he should.
And his life choices.
Mm-hmm. Life choices.
Because Venus is out there putting IG videos out looking like I don't know what.
I'm telling you, she's building her post-tennis life brand.
Yes, she is. Definitely.
That's the brand?
Like Camilla Giorgi, and everybody's doing.
Yeah, but Camilla Giorgi ain't got 5 Wimbledons, so I don't know if that's the
true.
Brand.
If
Venus come out with OnlyFans, I'm gonna be mad.
Oh my goodness,
that's not the play. And I was really surprised that Muguruza came out a little flat.
Yeah.
But Isaac, don't you think sometimes when you get a walkover, you need that tough semifinal match?
I agree. I feel like it might. Well, I think that could be the case, but at the same time, it's kind of like I can't think of who said it in the chat, but someone said that it's just by her being a closer. I was shocked, and I don't know if y'all caught this, but the commentators were basically like, Muguruza only has 6 titles, I believe they said.
Oh, yeah.
That is some ridiculousness, because 2 of them are Grand Slams. So you telling me that you have only won 4 other titles outside of the French at Wimbledon? There's something wrong with your closing skills, baby girl. You gotta go work on that.
Right. And Lindsay, I think, tried to soften it up and say, oh, well, she had, that period where she was not doing well. That's exactly Isaac's point. Like you can't have when you're a Grand Slam winner, you don't have 3 or 4 years where you sort of just can't figure out your game. What does that even mean?
Exactly.
You got it. It's that Zverev thing I was talking about. You have to show up to win what did Nick Bollettieri say the other day when Serena was maybe 15 or 16? Some tournament she played and she lost and she was upset. And he went to talk to her and he said, what's the problem? She said, I shouldn't have lost that match. He said, don't ever play a tournament if you don't think you can win.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw something switch in her of like, don't show up if you don't believe you're going to win that tournament.
That's right.
And so these appearance fees, that's kind of where I started with the whole Petros thing. I was like, man, that's just... I don't know. It makes me feel some type of way about that. It makes me feel some type of way. And I don't know about Naomi and what happened with that or Djokovic. I just saw that Petros thing and I'm like, I've never seen him hit a ball. There's players who are working their way through, like these Cerundolo brothers.
Yep.
Who are earning the headlines.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know. And I think
here's the thing.
In the chat, everybody feels the same way.
But you have to remember, when it comes to the wild card, that is completely at the tournament's discretion.
That's true.
Completely. I mean, if they want to give it to somebody they saw on the side of the road driving up to the tournament, that's what they can do. That's
Right.
the benefit of the tournament. So,
And that's why it's called the wild card, I guess.
wild card,
Yeah.
That's right. That's
absolutely right.
Yeah.
And
So-
again, they're not dumb. I still feel like it pulls it back to the coins, because again, if I'm at that tournament and I see a Tsitsipas in the draw and it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's his brother, I'm gonna want to see that match. I'm gonna want to see what this young Tsitsipas is bringing to the table. Is he as good as his brother? Blah blah blah. You're gonna want that. So of course, I believe that will then translate into some more coins.
And if I'm Cam Norrie, I'm going to want to get in that ass. So,
so wait a minute. I was getting ready to start wrapping this up, but we have Tony who has come up and wants to chat a little bit. What's going on, Tony?
Let's get it.
So hey, fellas, you guys are saying a lot about people have to come up and want to take it. You know what I mean? So I made the fact, or I posted down there. You had that whole generation of the Raoniches, the Nishikoris, that 27, 28, 29 range. None of them were able to break through. You finally had Dominic Thiem who was on the cusp, but now you have these young guys. It's going to take that drive for them to want to snatch any of those titles. Mm-hmm. And, it's not easy now because everybody's playing harder. And on the women's side, it's the same thing. You're never, Naomi's on a roll, but will she continue that role with all these hungry girls that really want to play? I don't know. It's really interesting that generation-wise, winning begets winning. That's the way it goes.
Now, and while I agree with you, Tony, that generation you're talking about, they were going up against the big three in their prime.
Yes.
And you almost kind of can understand them not breaking through based upon who they had to break through against.
Right.
But you're right. I mean,
Bryce.
And there's going to be a generation, I think, and Paul, I'm going to use the term you used a while ago, that, are going to miss their window because of the era they were in.
Right.
But Bryce, bad luck.
But Bryce, Roger Federer is 39 years old. Okay? And we're still talking about him as the contender to win big tournaments. Milos Raonic is not even 30. You telling me you couldn't take him down when he was 36 or 35?
Exactly.
But see, the problem. This is the problem. Yep. During that period, to win a major, you probably had to beat at least two of them.
Exactly.
If not all three.
And you still do.
We know that it's an accomplishment to beat any one of them.
Exactly.
In a major. So to face a Roger in a semis and a Nadal in a final, or Djokovic, or any combination, that's a pretty tall task. And I think don't get me wrong, we've had some like Andy Murray and Wawrinka who really stepped in and showed what they were about. But I mean, it's been tough getting through those three guys.
Yeah, I honestly think had Del Potro not gotten hurt, I mean, we always say the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, but I really think with that forehand, that serve, and that crazy aggressive like body play that he always had, I think he was on his way.
I agree with you. Yes.
You mean had he not gotten hurt several times?
Yeah,
right. That guy just had all the rough. He had such rough luck.
Yeah, but really the first time, that first one after he won in 2009, I think had he not gotten hurt, I think that he would have won a couple more.
Oh,
right away.
Yeah,
right away.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and I think that would have been to the detriment of Federer. If you're really being honest. Yeah. Because Nadal's been doing what Nadal will do what he's been doing on clay, irregardless. So you're not going to mess with Nadal. But unfortunately, had Del Potro remained healthy, it would have impacted Federer and it would have impacted Djokovic, because he would be lightning at that U.S. Open and on those hard
and at
courts.
Wimbledon. And at Wimbledon.
Right.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, he
almost won a medal. 2009 U.S. Open though.
Right. And wait a minute. I just want to introduce. We've had another person step up, Jack Kennedy. Hey, Jack.
What up, Jack?
What's on your mind?
Hey guys. No, I mean, I was just I'm a big Roger Federer fan, so I mean, I was just following along with what you guys were saying, and Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting conversation about Del Potro. Really feel bad for the guy, like with everything that happened with him in his career. But just going back to the 2009 U.S. Open final, I just think that was one of the. I mean, obviously Roger has a number of big chokes in his career, but sadly, as a Warrior, I mean, as a Warriors fan and a Roger Federer fan, I mean, I know a lot about choke jobs. I don't know, man. Yeah, and definitely the 2009 U.S. Open final, like Roger should not have lost that.
True.
Like
Right.
there was no excuse for losing that.
But still, Jack, Del Potro had to step up and take it
And
against
he
a player
did.
of that caliber,
Mhm.
and he did.
Exactly.
He did
He
snatch
did. He
that
did.
opportunity when it came, and that I think what Tony was saying is winning begets winning, and that would have
That's
set
right.
Del Potro on a path, is what he's saying. Like
Right.
he would have taken some more just because he had
Listen,
that
And
one.
if I go to the U.S. Open every year because I'm in Connecticut, so it's close. If I have a choice to see Del Potro or see any of these young guys playing, I will pick Del Potro every time.
Every
Yeah.
time.
right,
Seeing
right.
him hit the forehand in
Whew.
person
That
is
sound.
nuts. It is
Yeah.
insane.
Hey,
It is
hey,
insane.
Jack.
Yeah.
What
What's up, Max?
what are you thinking of Roger's chances coming back? Being a big Roger fan, what are you thinking? Hoping? What do you think's gonna happen in this first tournament back?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you guys, like I'm not expecting much in these smaller tournaments, but obviously, like with his sheer talent alone, even when he's like 50%, he can take out like 80% of the whoever he's playing on any given day.
Right.
And that's the thing. So, and I don't think he really even cares about how he does like in these tournaments. I think his goal is just Wimbledon and the Olympics at this point, if
Right.
they
But
occur. But
I agree with you too, but I also think that he's going to be a little bit draw dependent the first couple of tournaments back.
Yeah,
Yes,
To be
Tony.
honest
Yes.
with
Agree,
you, no matter
Tony.
who he plays. I mean, I think it's going to be a little bit draw dependent as well because
we
he can
saw in
come up and
2017 Australian Open though, right? I mean, he went through that crazy draw
Yep.
of like coming back from injury. Like
yeah, but I
like
think this is a little bit different though. This is a little bit
yeah, he's not
more.
as fit as he was going into that Australian Open. Definitely not. But you're saying even in
has anyone
Wimbledon?
seen him practice or seen him hitting has anyone seen him?
I've seen clips online of him hitting, yes.
Right.
Yes,
How's he look?
He
he
looks
looks like
good.
Roger.
Yeah,
I
look
mean,
Yeah, he
good.
looks
Yeah.
body's
good.
always different from
He,
Okay.
like practice, right?
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Um,
They said from a health standpoint, he could have absolutely played the Australian Open. That
Mhm.
was a not wanting to deal with the whole quarantine
That's what
family
that was.
thing.
Correct.
Right.
mhm.
Exactly what that
So
was.
so they say he has been, ready to play for quite a while now. So like
Miami's the same way. He's the same about Miami too. I'm not dealing with that quarantine shit.
right. When you go
Or
No.
to
that
America, they're virus
or that
infected.
those
Right?
ass backwards Florida people. I'm not
He's
dealing with
gonna
that
Right.
drop in the
shit.
ranking points. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna drop in the ranking points now. He's gonna drop like 1,000 points because he won it
That's
last year.
true. That's true.
Um,
But
But
I
but
don't
here's
those
the
think he's
good
gonna
thing.
points are
Here's
care.
the
those
good thing
points.
for him. Here's the good thing for him. It really doesn't matter in terms of his seeding for Wimbledon because they're going to make sure he has a top 4 seeding.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Correct.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. Oh
For
yeah.
Wimbledon especially, because they
They're
do things
giving him that.
differently, like than
Oh, yeah.
most other Grand Slams. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
He's gonna be
as long
one
as
or
he's in
two,
the
I
top
think,
4.
for sure.
Y'all
Yeah.
think Wimbledon's gonna put Serena in the top 4?
Nope.
No, I think they will.
No. I do
I think
not
they
think they
will.
will. I don't think they will simply for the fact that she's been back now a couple of years. She's at number 7 in the live rankings this week. So I mean, granted, a Miami and maybe if she goes to the French, her ranking will go up a little bit depending on how other people's points fall off.
Right.
I don't
I,
think
She
I
didn't do
don't think
great
they're
in
going to
that.
seed her in top 4.
Okay.
I disagree. I
I
Wimbledon does
disagree
it
disagree.
too.
actually
And
really
let me
weird.
let me throw this out here real quick. Y'all do not forget, Serena has been in the last 2 Grand Slam finals. She lost
Wimbledon
to Halep,
finals.
the Wimbledon finals. She lost to
Yeah.
Halep, and who did she lose to? Was it Kerber or who did she lose to the last time?
Naomi.
No,
No,
not in Wimbledon.
Wimbledon.
We're talking Wimbledon.
Oh,
So she's
Wimbledon.
been in the last, because remember, they didn't play Wimbledon last year. So you got to go off the previous years. Serena definitely should get a top 4 seeding. If they don't, that is wrong.
Because here's
they
the
do
thing.
it kind of based on last year's results. So,
No, they don't. They do it based upon your
Their
previous
own
grass
results.
court. Yeah, your previous
yeah,
grass
it's
court
your
results.
grass court results, and for how you did last year, I think something like that.
Well, and so remember, the last time they had Wimbledon, she was in the finals. It was
Correct.
Right, exactly. That's why I expected her to be in top 4, like Roger.
And the other thing is, you have to look at, okay, so if she's number 7, who's above her? So Svitolina is above
Naomi.
her. You think they're going to see Svitolina ahead of Serena at Wimbledon?
No,
Absolutely
no,
not.
No. The only players that they can seed above Serena, the only players I would say is potentially a Muguruza and a Kvitova. Those are the only 2. Well, maybe because Muguruza she owns a Wimbledon title. Let's not forget that.
I just think that her ranking is like, what is she, 15 right now? I don't think she can get close enough where they could give her.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. That's a very fair point.
You have to look at the rankings.
Like there's only 2 people in the entire top 10 that even stand a chance against her that can beat her.
Right. I think she gets.
There's only like Naomi can outpower her. That's the thing. I don't think she ever.
Not on grass.
Not on grass.
I mean, I feel like Simona did that, and Simona doesn't even hit that hard. She's really
Simona used Serena's power against her.
Exactly. And then, I don't know, but grass is like typically realistically should be the fastest surface. And
but they changed that.
They changed it a lot. I think that
they changed it
Roger and Serena a lot.
Actually, Naomi said not too long ago, she said grass plays slower than hard to her now.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I mean, I think there was one year, like I think it was maybe 2017 or 2016. No, it was 2015 or 2016 where they said that Wimbledon was playing slower than the French Open at one point. It was ridiculous.
Probably a euphemism, but I see the point they were making. But Tony,
like they're showing like indexes, like I mean, because U.S. Open is technically supposed to be the fastest hard court, but I mean, it was dang slow.
The Australian was fast this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Tony, I'm looking at the rankings right now. The 3 people that would have to get bumped down are Svitolina, Pliskova, and Kenin.
Oh, bye.
Listen, I'm American, and I don't even like Kenin's game, and I don't like her.
I think at Wimbledon, they're going to put Serena in the top 4. And I think she'll be like number 6 by the time that comes, because Pliskova is on the tornado slide going down.
My prediction is that Serena and Roger will both be the number 4 seeds in their respective draws. So
I'm going to
agree with you,
this conversation and write a little note in my notes on my phone. Listen, Serena's my girl. I feel the same way you guys do. I just think that Wimbledon they're coming out of a lockdown. They are going to look at all these players and they're going to try to be fair. I call me crazy. Just part of me feels as though they're going to stick to their rankings. I really do. I don't know. I feel it in my bones. I do.
I also think they're going to want to make sure Serena's there for the last weekend because they need the people there. So they're going to. Just when it comes to her.
You can say that about Roger more than anyone.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Well, and I tell you what, after this Meghan Markle interview last night,
oh my God,
you gonna see them doing all kind of stuff with black folks at Wimbledon.
They gonna put the Emer. They gonna rank. They gonna see the Emer brothers.
Right. They're gonna be like Sasha Vera. You don't have to qualify. Come on, girl.
Come on in, right?
You know,
the royal family, like William and Kate, they usually like come to Wimbledon to support Roger and Serena. I don't see them coming at all this year.
Yeah, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be there for Madison Keys first round. Watch.
They're gonna have on some George Floyd shirts and everything up in the World Box.
They're gonna be at every Coco golf match. They're gonna be there.
How can they even show their face in public anymore?
I think Meghan and Harry will show up to Serena's box and sit in her box.
Oh yeah!
Wow! Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something?
That would be interesting.
Love to see it. If Serena's putting out statements like today after that interview, friends, I would not put it past Meghan to show up at Wimbledon with her fastener on and her, pretty outfit, as if she'd go to Sunday brunch to go watch your girl play some tennis on center court.
And her fastener is
Hey.
going to say BLM.
Right.
Hell is.
Hey, I am curious though, guys. I am curious though, since you're Serena fans, right? I do
Yeah.
have one question to ask you guys. Like, what was your overall like? And I don't have too many friends who are Serena fans, so I just wanted to ask you like,
You need some
most
new
of my
friends,
friends,
Jack.
we only, I mean, they only watch, male tennis, unfortunately.
Oh,
I
you
try to
meant
like,
that. You meant it like
yeah,
that.
but
You was finna get muted.
my question is like, do you remember what happened with her and Osaka, right, in the U.S. Open?
Yes.
Yeah.
With her. What was your immediate reaction to that? Like, were you on Serena's side or were you kind of against it? Like, what was your thought process about
It
what was
was bad
happening?
all around.
It was bad all around.
Everybody were bad characters in that play.
Except for Osaka.
Except for Osaka.
Agree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
that
know if
Serena should have
taken
shown
it
a
to the race
level.
card that she did, right? Like she went to that really fast.
Serena should. In fact, I actually think she didn't actually go to the race card. She went to the gender card.
Gender card, sorry,
Um,
gender, yeah.
But yeah, I personally, I like I said, there's a lot of blame to go around there. I'm still of the opinion that when you're in a Grand Slam final, you need to sit back and let folks play.
That's right.
Yep.
Sit back and let them play. And if
That's
you
right.
do see again a violation, at least step up and be like, "Yo, I saw your coach. So if that happens
He
again,
said that
I'm
though,
a
right?
flag
He gave her
you."
a warning.
But you
that
got
first
no.
time,
He
didn't
did not. He did not give her a warning on the coaching. He did not. And
Wait,
to
it's an
me,
automatic
that is where
coaching
that
violation,
failed.
I think, though. When he said when he said that I saw your coach.
Yeah, he gave her a
That's an
warning,
automatic
and then
warning.
when she broke the racket, that was
That
the
was the
second.
violation.
Point violation,
Right.
Because she had
Right.
a warning, and then she stopped there, and she went on going again and again at him, and obviously I don't think calling a thief really should get her another
Right.
penalty.
Oh my
But
God! Yeah, let me
that
stop.
was
I'm
stupid.
gonna
That
go
was
on mute.
Jack, I'm going to say this. If you haven't watched the ESPN special, the Serena against the umpire, watch it. It was actually really, really good. It was really, really good.
It was.
It's unfortunate. She has had like some, the 2009 U.S. Open. I remember that clearly, like against Kim Clijsters, if you remember.
Well, just think of it this way: we have now instant replay because
of Serena. Right. Shot spot is Serena. Exactly. That was from her and Jennifer Capriati. Exactly. That far sideline, all the way up inside the line, and the judge overruled it and was like, "That's out."
That's the worst overruling I have ever seen.
Wait, which one are you guys talking about? I'm talking about the one like where she got called for the football and
No.
Go back to Capriati.
You gotta go back. Yeah, you gotta
go
back.
Jack is too young. He doesn't even know who Capriati is. He's too young.
No, I do know Capriati.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Listen, so the thing is about that Capriati, there's two things that I always remember from that. One is her in the flyest denim outfit that she should have been holding a major in.
Ooh,
those boots were fucking killer.
Yes.
Should have been holding a major in those. And two, hearing her say, no, I know my shots.
Yep.
That is why we have shot spot. That's what I took away from that Capriati match. Her wearing that and should have been holding a trophy, and her saying, no, I know my shots. So she's always had a contentious affair with the U.S. Open for some strange reason, which is her home tournament.
I know.
But you know what? We have heard time and time again from a lot of the people of color that they feel like they are treated so much better at the tournaments in other countries, Europe, Asia, than they are here in their own country. Let's not forget Indian Wells.
Let's not forget that.
Let's not forget Indian Wells. And that was here.
Mm-hmm.
She refused to play for many years after that.
Correct. Her and Venus.
Right.
Yeah, I always just err to the side of when a black person tells you how they see something and how it affects them, just believe them.
That's right.
This narrative of not playing this card or not playing that card. We've been dealt 400 years of cards, so we know when something ain't right.
Paul, I love you, dude.
Do is just I'm just saying for educational value, the thing to do is step back and go, I believe that you're not crazy. I'm not going to try to tell you you're crazy because you've watched your parents go through it, you've watched your grandparents go through it, you know you're being followed in the store, you know what's happening, you're not crazy. And if Serena feels some type of way, and she is the best player ever to step on a tennis court, she knows
Yep.
what's happening. To go
And
through
so
that and
just
and still wear them Cameroon socks and still be winning all that stuff. She knows what she's doing.
exactly. The funny thing is, though, the interesting piece about the Open with Naomi, the first one, where all that happened, she's in her press conference, and so people are always like, "How did you feel? How did that make you feel?" Like, I'm a social worker, so I work with people. You get it? And to see her kind of emotional, not about losing, not about all the other stuff going on. It was more, like you said, about the gender inequality that's out there. And that, to me, spoke volumes about why everybody would always be like, she's classless, she doesn't care about her opponent, she talks bad about. She really doesn't. She's when she first started, she was like, "Yeah, them bitches don't really mean nothing to me. I'm a sister." I get that. I totally get that. But as she got older, she kind of looked at it as, these are the people I work with, and so people to always give her that brand of she's a bitch, she's got a shitty attitude, whatever. She's earned her right to be at the top in the face of the women's game, and
That's
so
right.
for her to talk about gender inequality and how it affects not just her but the girls coming behind her, that is what I
and these girls know the truth. They know that y'all wouldn't be making no money, wouldn't have no sponsorships, nobody be watching if it wasn't for Serena Williams.
They all look at her as, like, when you listen to those interviews of like, who's the toughest person you played? Serena. What would you like from somebody's game? Serena serve. Who's the mental top? So, like,
who served you
girls,
two bagels and you still she's feeding your family? Like, Serena's feeding all these people's families.
Exactly.
She's feeding all of their families. She is true Mother Earth, because if it wasn't for her, there would be nothing happening. Name the other player. I mean, maybe Venus would have, please, Venus lost more Grand Slam finals than she won, and so she would have had 16 or 17 finals probably.
Right.
Yeah. So other, but for
you
that,
have to go back like Steffi Graf, I would say.
Yeah, you'd have to go that far back. But see, there wasn't the sort of social media, there wasn't that opportunity back then. So Serena not only was an incredible player, she was so savvy and in the moment and understood how to make herself, Shoulder tried it, but
oh my God, man! Like,
but Meldonia couldn't hang.
I completely lost respect for her.
You also
Shrikapova.
You also make the point that guys like the young guns, the younger generation, have to jump up and snatch that. Serena came up against a lot of girls that would literally be playing flawless tennis for 2 weeks at a major and get to her and lose their shit. They just couldn't handle it. Nope. Naomi, on the other hand, is that girl that's like, you know what? I modeled my game after your game. And I'm younger.
She's
I'm
powerful.
hungry,
She's
and
so
I'm
powerful.
going to give you your game right back at you. Serena,
and Tony, who else I appreciate that I didn't for a while? Azarenka, because she'll step up there. She'll step up there and be like, you know what, Serena, you're gonna have to knock me down. We're gonna fight, and I like that.
I like that.
I wasn't mad that she, like, when Serena lost to her at the U.S. Open. I felt it, like, as it started. Azarenka's playing really good ball, and she's not scared of Serena. She wants this kind of a match. Azarenka hasn't had this kind of a match in a very long time. I had a feeling she was going to step up and take that. Serena's loss to Andreescu, that was a fluke. You know what I mean? Like, Andreescu is not that great of a player. She's really not that great.
Shots fired.
I know everybody loves her. And she's a pro. She's elite. I get it. She is a good player. I'm just talking shit to say
let's be clear about something. Because to be a great player,
you can't lose to chase away.
Exactly.
But you also have to beat the best. Great player, you have to be able to stay healthy
and beat Chase away.
And if you cannot stay healthy, you will not be considered a great player.
And beat Chase away.
I feel like everyone who troubled Serena ever, right?
That's wrong.
It was always the people who could go up against her, like
it was the people who weren't afraid of her. Exactly. Your Justine Innas, your Kim Kleisters, your
Bianca wasn't scared of her on that day.
Not on that day.
But you know what, though?
She was outplaying Serena for most of the day, unfortunately.
Serena got into her own head and outplayed herself. like errors out of like nowhere. I'll play
She
this
does
shot.
that a lot. She gets
But to
pissed
go back
like
to your point
easily.
about people who really have to like kind of take it to her, I don't really look at Justine Henin as taking it to her too many times. She's got a good record against her, but I think a couple of those are kind of like, eh. That's just me. That's my opinion.
So I wanted to just
Go
take
ahead.
a moment. We had our good friend Miles David to
What
come
up,
up.
Miles?
So I wanted to give him the floor for a second. Miles, I know you've been listening, to a lot of this. Kind of, what did you want to add to the conversation?
No, I just wanted to be in the midst when my brothers talk tennis. That's all. I just wanted to show some support.
Oh, that's why we love Miles. Damn right.
In terms of
Hey,
Bianca Andreescu, though, you guys make some good points. She does have to be or show herself to be a healthier player, but I don't rush to discredit her U.S. Open win because she beat Serena in the final,
Correct.
and she didn't necessarily have a cakewalk draw.
Correct.
Not necessarily, but and she also backed up in a way that win with two other hardcore wins before that. So she was kind of building on herself. But I mean, it remains to be seen what's going to happen now. She might just be like a one season wonder, or she just maybe like a kind of like a stall start kind of player. We don't know.
We don't know yet, right?
Yeah.
But she's got I think we all can agree that
The raw
she's got
talent.
the potential. She's got
Exactly.
the potential.
She
has
does.
it.
She really does. That's
Yes,
what I'm saying.
She does.
She is a world class player. She is. We got her for a year and maybe some change, and she was like the it girl. And I'm like, how is she the it girl?
I
I
mean,
get it. She's got a couple of really big
but
tournament titles.
winning in tennis, because tennis is a singular like individual sport, winning is kind of more so everything than in any other sport. So if you win, people are going to talk about you because
No,
you are the person
I
doing it.
get it. I mean,
Can I
get
do
that,
it?
but I just think
Hey guys,
for her, it got out of hand for me, at least.
I'm curious about something. Can I do a lightning round real quick? And Jack, you stay on here, and everybody. I'm curious. I'm gonna ask two questions. One is a yes, no, and then the other you have to name a player. In the WTA, is Ash Barty going to win another major? And in the ATP, who's the next first-time Slam winner who's going to win a major?
Yes, she will win
Yes.
another.
Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas. I agree. Or
Huh.
no, I'm going Rublev. Sorry, I'm going
Okay.
Rublev.
Over Tsitsipas?
I'm going
Yeah.
Medvedev.
I'm going yes, and I'm going Medvedev as well.
Damn it, Bryce.
Shoot. I forgot about
No.
Medvedev.
That's why y'all got the show together.
No, it's got to be Medvedev. It's got to be Medvedev.
Because here's the thing. Rafa's going to win the French.
Yep.
The Wimbledon will be either Novak or Roger.
Correct.
U.S. Open is the next tournament that anybody has a chance. And the person that has the best chance against the big three at the U.S. Open will be Medvedev.
Not Dominic?
No,
No.
you said someone that has a title though that hasn't gotten
Someone
a title.
will be a first time, but I'm saying at the U.S. Open, you think Medvedev has a better chance, and I think the first timer will be at the next Australian. That's all I was saying.
Okay, gotcha, Paul. Gotcha.
I think it could potentially be the U.S. I think it could potentially be the U.S. Open.
It could be.
Yeah. Yep.
Honestly, though, U.S. team is not bad at the U.S. Open because it's so slow. I mean, it's not incredibly fast, and he did take Novak at the Australian to 5 sets, and Dominic's favorite surface is clay, obviously. So
no, he's a factor. He's a factor, but he's like we were saying, he's already won one. So
the first time
if
winner,
you want to talk about the power hitters, then I mean, I guess Tsitsipas. I don't think he's consistent enough to beat Novak.
I was about to say, y'all
got backhand
quite a lot.
That backhand.
I'm picking Rublev simply for the fact that it's March.
He's not consistent,
and he's got plenty of time. I think this guy has the most upswing out of all those Russians.
You know what, Tony? I'm going to go with you on that, Tony. I'm going with Tony on that one. I
think he's athletic. He's grown into his body in the last year and some change. He has such a great game.
This is why I disagree. This is why I disagree with that. That great game that he has, which is really just one style.
Exactly.
That works in these tournaments where you play best.
You better say it, Bryce.
No, but see, but that's
Preach, Bryce.
All right, that works in these 2 out of 3 tournaments. That's why he got so many of those.
Yep.
So,
Now,
but
when you get,
no.
but
I'm
let me
saying,
tell you what. Let me just finish my thought. But when you play a major and you have to win those 7 matches, rarely does the champion not have a round that they had to battle a little bit in, they had to struggle a little bit in. Rublev has not shown me yet that when his A game is not on, that he has a game plan B that can win
Fair
against the
enough.
top players.
Fair enough. Yep.
And so that's where I struggle to see him winning 7 best of 5 set matches in a row at this point. Now, let's remember, Serena used to be like that too until she
yes,
developed her game. So he has the ability to develop it, but he's not there yet.
but okay, so I see that point, but the other flip side to that is he also needs to manage his schedule a little bit better. I think that point that you're making will somewhat alleviate itself and kind of play out a little bit evenly if he can manage his schedule a little bit better. He plays so much that
But that's a
leading
big
into
if, Tony.
run-ups and majors,
But that's a big if.
that's an if. That's why I'm saying it's March. The U.S. Open is way in the fall. I'm hoping this kid can get it together. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
Tony, you're
Okay.
saying Rublev, right? Not Medvedev, right?
Yeah, I'm going
Rublev.
Yeah, he's
Rublev.
talking about Rublev.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was trying to.
Right.
I wanted to throw him into the mix, but you guys covered why I was hesitant about. I mean, Bryce covered why I was hesitant about throwing Rublev in the next of conversation.
But we all know it's going to be
But I
Berrettini.
don't
So
see
anyway.
Rublev being. Wait, did I hear
Berrettini's like
did you think
Andreescu
Rublev
to
is going
me.
to take out Novak?
No, I said I need a martini. Well, you thought I said Berrettini?
Goodbye, Paul. Goodbye.
Good night.
Berrettini? No, hell no, man.
Berrettini is like
Do you guys
Andreescu
see?
to me.
Wait,
But she got a
who do you guys
major.
think?
Boom.
Wait, what?
He said Berrettini's like Andreescu, and I said, well, she got a major. So
I think in terms of like a
There you
one
go.
season
You
wonder,
know?
Berrettini's kind of similar.
she snuck one out.
Wait, so does everybody agree? Like, will Ash Barty win another major?
I think
Yes.
odds
Yes.
are. I didn't.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think odds are she will. I didn't say yes or no, but I was going to say yes. But I think the players I was thinking of in regards to like will Ash Barty win another one and who's the next player? Those 2 players actually have shown me some small chinks in their armor. Like this season, as Ash Barty, the way she kind of choked up against
Mukova.
Muhova
Yep.
in Australia, I was like, there's some chinks in that armor because that was a winnable match. And then also Medvedev has shown me some chinks in his armor as well because of how he showed up against Djokovic in that Australian Open final. It was
Yep.
lackluster. And then this past week, his loss in Rotterdam was mostly because of stress of like taking on the moment of like everybody talking about him being the next number 2 in the world. He played like crap under that pressure, so it makes me think about the fact
let me jump in here. I want to make 2 points. So number one, while I do agree that Ash Barty is going to win another major in her career, I don't believe she'll win another French. You talk about fluke. That was yeah. So she needs to be happy she got that. That may help her get a career Grand Slam at some point. The other thing that I'm going to say, and I hear people talking about Medvedev and did the pressure get him on the number 2. I seriously don't think people are putting enough emphasis on the fact of that was an extremely slow hard court surface. I know we sometimes think just hard court and Medvedev's great on hard court, but that was a very, very slow hard court surface. And the opponent he had in the first round was not the person to have on a slow hard court surface. So I think it was partly it had to do with the court, the surface, the opponent. I'm not going to say that the whole number 2 thing didn't play a part in there, but I'm not completely convinced that is the reason why that solely was the reason why he
But
lost.
his games, I mean, a slow hardcore would support his game, though.
Yep, I was going to say that.
No, he likes a
He's
fast.
a consistent. He's like a grinder.
But my thing is, though, do we want the number 2 player in the world to be like a one surface wonder? You know, like
Exactly.
is
We
that what
had
the number two
Rafa
player
like
in the
that
world
for
is
a
built
while
out of?
now, man.
Rafa was. I get that perspective, and I actually was thinking of Rafa when I said that. But
I mean, all his
he
U.S. Opens that
won.
he had
He
joke draws.
won so much. It wasn't like it
Right.
was one tournament here, one tournament there. He was consistent for years.
Right, but the U.S. Opens that he won, like one of his U.S. Opens, he didn't face a single seed until the finals. Like it was ridiculous. Like all the U.S. Opens that he won, like were, I mean, after 2010, except 2013, were all like
Oh, look at Encyclopedia
pushers,
Jack.
man. Like
Get him, Jack.
Get him, Jack.
And
that's
you
the
have
thing.
to be
That's why I
careful.
never hold like Rafa ahead of Roger or Novak, just because I think he's really a one surface player to me, in my opinion. Like he can never stand up with either of those two guys at their best. Like the only
Woof.
surface that he's better than them at is clay.
Listen,
Completely better than
listen.
him.
Woof.
I
But
like
Ooh, shots
Jack. I like
fired.
your Jack. I like your argument. I really do because all my boys are Rafa fans, and I get it. I will respect Rafa to the fullest, but he's won on other surfaces, but not as much as the one. So I won't put him in that same place that I put Roger and Novak either. But Rafa
Yeah.
So
is
what's the?
Rafa.
So
I get
my
it.
only slight argument is what's the difference than Roger being successful on grass? Because that's where
I
it
mean,
comes.
he's not only successful on grass
But
though.
neither is Rafa.
Because Miles, outside of the French, Roger has won a bunch of tournaments on clay.
Yeah.
He only
And so
lost to
that
one guy. You guys got to remember, like I'm sure you guys been we're seeing tennis for so long now. I mean, in the 2000s,
What that's supposed
Are
to
you
mean?
calling us old, Jack?
I'm fresh.
That feel like
you're talking
shade.
about
That feel like
Capriati
some
and stuff.
shade.
You
Like
about to
I
get
started with
muted.
Roger like back in, I've been seeing him since 2005, 4 or 5. So
I get it. I get you, Jack. I get it.
We get you, buddy. We get you.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
so all I was saying was like, I mean, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, there's only one guy who was against Rafa every single time.
Yeah,
It
I
was
agree.
Roger. And that Rafa was peak Rafa on clay. I mean, that speed that he had, like around that time, if you guys remember, like, man, he was crazy. Like,
Yep, I agree.
and a lot of
Listen,
that has deteriorated. And one thing I did want to ask you guys, like, obviously we see that, Roger is surviving now. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with him having his serve, which is probably better than ever. And he's getting a lot of free points, but especially in rallies, right? Do you guys see a clear deterioration in his forehand, especially than how it was like back in 04, 05, like where if you guys
I know
remember?
what you're talking about. He definitely makes more unforced errors on that forehand than he used to. But what has helped him is that his backhand has
Right.
improved. So now where that used to be a go-to spot,
Right.
for people, he's now hitting winners off of that. So, but yes, he definitely hits more unforced errors on his forehand than he used
And
to.
doesn't it also seem, I mean, it seemed like in around that 05, 06 time, right? That forehand was just so freaking crazy. Like he used to just go for winners out of nowhere and like just dominate with that.
Well, and he is basically 40. So, I mean,
yeah, so that's the thing to see him
and I think
now.
the court's slowed down too a lot. So
yeah. And he's basically 40. So,
Right.
we can't expect for him at 40 to do everything like he
and
did when he was
I think that's
26 and
exactly a great point
27.
because at his age, like even once he started turning 33, 34, right? He just couldn't get into the same long rallies anymore with Novak. And so the only other way to do that was you go aggressive from the first point, basically.
Mhm.
Serve hard and then go for a winner, basically, as quickly as possible. And that's
it's
why
amazing that he could.
But that's
Right.
where he is now, and that's why those errors are coming because
Right.
he's trying to end points really fast.
And he
Right.
wins against almost everyone except Novak. Why? Because that guy's a machine and he doesn't miss.
Backboard. He's a
Right.
backboard. Yeah.
Well, and I think another thing is Novak has been clutch because
Novak.
Roger should have
Call
won
it.
that last.
Please do
that last
not bring
Wimbledon.
up 2019. Do not bring up 2019.
Roger should have won that. He should have won that. I mean, that was his to win.
Yep.
And I don't know what to say.
Right. That's when you hit two aces. That's what Serena would have done. Well, Serena from 2000.
Well, I mean, I think
Pre-Olympia.
arguably Roger has the best serve in the top 100, like all
Who does?
around.
Who does?
Like Roger in terms of variety, variation, easy
Yeah,
points.
he's
Like
a
Hitting the
spot server.
spots.
He is
Yeah, yeah,
he is one of the
he
greatest
gets
spot
so many free
servers we've
points on
had.
that.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, hey, look, this has been amazing. This has been great conversation. We're about to hit 2 hours, so I
Wow.
know our producer is going to choke us to death already. So we're going to have to wrap this up now. But we thank Miles and Tony and Jack and Paul, all of you, for coming up today and adding, your voices to this and your opinions to this.
Yes.
And it's been amazing. So, Isaac, any final words you want to say, as we're
No.
wrapping up?
The only thing I will say is this is what the great thing about Locker Room is about, to be able to have these types of discussions and go in and really just again, just this game of tennis is crazy, man. It's so awesome. So I have enjoyed this entire 2-hour segment. So I know Ched is really going to light a fire to us.
Right, exactly.
But I have enjoyed this. So thank you all. Thanks for those that stuck around and are still listening. We appreciate you more than you know.
Right. And just piggybacking off of what Isaac said, if you're listening to this as a podcast, you heard all the engagement we had from the listeners today. And if you want to have that same type of engagement with us, all you have to do is at this point, get an Apple product, iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, something.
There you go.
Download the Locker Room app and come on and join Brothers on Tennis every Monday at 6:00 p.m. Pacific time. So with that being said, everybody enjoy the tennis for this week. We'll be back here next Monday to talk to you again about it. This has been your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Everyone stay safe.